Okay, so today I want to talk about the new boogeyman that's been all over the news, and that is Tren de Aragua. It's a Venezuelan gang that allegedly is all over the place, man. They're pretty much everywhere. They might be right next door. They might be right underneath your bed. You know, every year there's a new boogeyman. Before this gang, it was MS-13, and before them, it was, let me see, Taliban, ISIS, Mexican cartels, white nationalists, freaking. There's always a new boogeyman. There's. I'm not saying that these groups don't exist, but what I am saying is people claiming to be part of these groups and are not them. I'll give you some real examples. When I was in high school, people pretended to be MS-13 members. They don't know anybody in the gang, but they would throw up gang signs like they were MS-13. Never they were just kids pretending, you know. And let's say they were to get arrested, they would get filed as, let's say they had tattoos, you know, or just claimed it. When they got locked up, they're like, are you in a gang? Like, yeah, I'm MS-13, you know. And they get filed as MS-13, you know, kids just playing around. But it makes that organization look like it's legit. Like, oh man, they're everywhere, man. There was people who claiming to be Bloods, Crips, Latin Kings, you name it. If you went to high school in the 90s or in the early 2000s, I'm guarantee you that you yourself claim to be part of a gang, or you know somebody that pretended to be part of a gang that was never an official gang member. Like, and when I mean official, it's like they have actual ties to the gang. They know actual gang leaders. They're actually putting in work. They have an actual crew, and they're it's part of the livelihood. It's none of this pretending stuff. You have nowadays rappers pretending to be gang members. They oh, I'm a Blood, I'm a Crip, this and that. You ain't no Blood, you ain't no Crip, man. You know, you're just using it as marketing. Real talk. When in Mexico, when something happens, any kind of crime, I don't give a damn if it's a bank robbery, anything. Who gets the blame? It'll be the cartel. Whatever cartels in that region, it was them. It was them. Are you 100% sure? How do you know it wasn't just some dude, you know, that wanted to rob a bank? You know, we have this tendency to just blame, make sure, like, make this boogeyman bigger than what they are, and group people who aren't even in it as part of the team. Same thing when I was in Afghanistan. I would see there would be checkpoints of so-called wannabe thugs. They basically would set up a checkpoint in the middle of a dirt road in the middle of the country, and when people driving through the area, they would stop them and say, "Hey, you got to pay, or else, you know, we're gonna come to your home and murder your whole family, and like we're Taliban, you know." And they weren't actual Taliban. They were just people just pretending to be Taliban members because of the reputation. And we will hear this over communications of actual Taliban members getting angry at people pretending to be Taliban and terrorizing the locals. It's like, hey, you're not us. Quit pretending. They would actually start a little turf wars in between each other. Same thing happens in Mexico. In Mexico, if you get caught pretending to be part of the cartel, and you're doing in work to terrorize the people, and if the cartel finds out, they'll get on your ass, you know. So when this new gang here, how do we know that people are who they claim to be, you know? And how do we know when the government says that somebody is somebody, that's who they actually are. Because again, in Afghanistan, anytime we fought somebody, we automatically just said they were Taliban. They could have been somebody who just pissed off. They're pissed off that we killed a relative of theirs, and they're like, man, they got pissed off, grabbed the rifle and started fighting us, you know. And we would say, oh, he was a Taliban member. Because again, there's no official license. Like, oh, I'm a proud member of this group. I have my license and I pay my dues. It's something that we just kind of make up with these new boogeymans. Now let me play this clip, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. This just came out a few days ago.
What started as a gang of Venezuelan migrants has now evolved into a potent transnational crime force.
Allegedly.
Tren de Aragua, now linked to more than 100 police investigations across the country, and their influence is growing. News Nation correspondent Jorge Ventura tracking this criminal.
Oh, yes. And if you don't know, I am the leader of Tren de Aragua. I just became it right now. I decided to become the leader of that. I'm also the leader of ISIS, Taliban, MS-13, the KKK, the Black Power, I don't know, whatever, Black Panthers. I'm the leader of all of that, you know. Prove me wrong. Tell me that I'm not the leader of any of these groups, you know. If I say it, it must be true, you know.
Organization for us. Jorge, what are we learning?
Well, Natasha, some officials have actually described Tren de Aragua as MS-13 on steroids, a reference to the infamous Salvador.
Some officials, tell me who? Some officials have said that, you know, whatever, you could just make up something.
Or a gang. Tren de Aragua is a Venezuelan prison gang.
It's this fear tactic to get you afraid of the new boogeyman and not focus on what you should be focusing. The government robbing you blind, taxes, inflation, the freaking depression that we're about to face. No. Focus on this boogeyman, the new boogeyman.
Which in large part was seen to be contained in South America, but now has spread its influence to here in the United States and operating in states like New York, Colorado, even Wisconsin, and where you are, Natasha, in Chicago. And according to some reports, have even been given the green light to open fire on American law enforcement.
According to some reports. All right, let me see. Pull it out. According to some reports, Tren de Aragua just got the green light to kill the president. According to some reports, you know? According to some reports, they just got the green lights to drop nuclear weapons all over the world. You know? You can just make it up.
From armed robbery to looting of high-end stores, authorities began tracking the Tren de Aragua gang operations in New York City, where gang members have been involved in robberies and
alleged gang members again, because anybody could claim anything, you know, and either they could claim it or the authorities could claim it.
Violent clashes with law enforcement, including this brutal attack on NYPD officers in January. At least 2 of the 14 suspects have been linked to the gang. Another shocking incident that made national headlines, the murder of nursing student Lincoln Riley. Authorities believe the suspects, 2 brothers identified as Diego and Jose Ibarra, have ties to the Tren de Aragua gang. More recently,
they believe.
Actually, 2 major incidents in Colorado also involving the Tren de Aragua gang. In Aurora, gang members have been linked to violent incidents at several apartment complexes. As you can see, the alleged gang members...
See, he uses the word allege. Just listen. It's not confirmed. These are all alleged.
Carrying assault rifles, local police have responded to numerous cases where residents were victims of armed robberies and home invasions. And in Denver, thieves suspected to be linked to...
Suspected to be linked. Again, suspected. It's not confirmed. It's suspected.
The Tren de Aragua gang pulled off a high-profile jewelry heist, stealing over $100,000.
Again, these could be just some dudes robbing. People commit crimes all the time. It doesn't mean that they're linked to a bigger organization.
$1,000 worth of merchandise. In the video, the robbers are seen pulling out guns, pushing open an office door, and pistol whipping 2 women who fall onto the floor. In El Paso, Texas, authorities uncovered a human smuggling operation where victims were held against their will. The gang is reportedly using these hotels as temporary holding centers before moving victims across state lines. But it doesn't stop there.
And I say this, the reason I'm making this video is because the news is making this boogeyman bigger than what they are. They always do this. They do this with everybody. Right now is this group. Before it was MS-13, and before that it was the Crips and the Bloods, and who knows, the Taliban, ISIS. They make you feel like these groups are much bigger than what the reality is.
In addition to being spotted in New York, Colorado, and Texas, the gang has expanded to Miami, Chicago, and Wisconsin. U.S. officials fear that the Tren de Aragua gang could destabilize these areas, much like they did in South America, as this organization is notorious for brutal violence, drug trafficking, and extortion. Homeland Security.
He says U.S. officials. Which one? Come on, give me some names. Believe that this gang is going to destabilize an American city where we have law enforcement, and not just law enforcement. Law enforcement loves to throw down. You think a law enforcement is like, nah, I'm afraid of the gangs. You know, I'm not going to throw down with nobody. Man, you got some trigger-happy cops that will be ready to throw down. Ooh, man, they'll get the rocks off. Nah. America's going to crumble. It's over, America. This little gang, we've been through so much, but nah. This little gang from Venezuela, they're just so powerful. They're everywhere. They're going to destroy us.
Investigation revealed that the Tren de Aragua gang members are young men aged 18 to 25, often wearing high-end streetwear like Chicago Bulls jerseys and Michael Jordan sneakers.
Okay. So anytime you see somebody wearing Michael Jordan sneakers or Chicago Bulls merchandise, must be a gang member. High-end, and people wearing high-end stuff, Tren de Aragua. Just, I'm afraid every time I see somebody with some nice clothes now.
They also have distinct tattoos featuring Venezuelan flags or gang symbols, making them easier to spot.
See, tattoos should be the way to identify gang members to a point, you know, because you could have national pride to wherever country you are, and it doesn't mean that you know, like I can have a Texas tattoo. It doesn't mean that I'm with the Texas Syndicate or with some sort of Texas, I don't know, gang like what's that, Tango Blast, or any, you know, name the hundreds of gangs. So it's kind of iffy with tattoos, unless you actually have like certain really distinct tattoos that, you know, identify you with that gang. And even then, how do you know it's not a dude just claiming to be part of the gang to intimidate people, you know?
Now, it's not just American law enforcement who are on high alert. So are the Mexican authorities. In the Mexican state of Chihuahua, authorities there have already began inviting experts from South America to go over the tactics of Tren de Aragua. According to Mexican authorities, they also believe that Tren de Aragua is already linked to 3 homicides in the Mexico City.
Again, he said believe, you know.
Area.
I don't care about belief, suspect, allege. I want confirmations, man. They make it seem like it's way worse than it is.
Yeah, I appreciate you
I
trying.
mean, it is believed, like I said, I could just make up anything. It is believed that they did 9/11. It is believed that they're the ones behind, you know, freaking the JFK assassination.
Tracking that. Jorge Ventura live for us in San Antonio tonight. Thank you. Thanks for watching.
All right, so Tren de Aragua, the new boogeyman. I am the leader of them, and so you should be really afraid, because I am going to take over every American city, and I'm going to be the new president of the United States. So you should be really scared. All right. Who do you think is going to be the next boogeyman in the next couple of years? Because this is going to be it, and I'm trying to think who's going to be the next one. It's always I don't know, man. Like this one took me by surprise. I did not see this group as the new boogeyman. All right, let me know in the comments what you think.